Antony Loewenstein is an investigative journalist, filmmaker, and author of The Palestine Laboratory. He joins me now from Sydney, Australia. Good to see you again, Antony. We covered the escalation on Israel's border with Lebanon, but I wanted to ask you about the bigger picture with Israel and the Palestinians. This month, the Israeli Knesset voted to reject the notion of a two-state solution. I mean, all while Israel's government approved the seizure of even more land for settlements, the biggest since the 93 Oslo Accords. Settler violence against Palestinian families is soaring, demolition of Palestinian homes. What's the cumulative impact of all of those things while the Israeli war in Gaza rages on?
It should be a clarifying moment, because that vote that you just referenced, Michael, actually included some of the main opposition parties who, on paper at least in the West, are seen as more moderate. But actually what you find is that there's no real Israeli constituency supporting a two-state solution. There are a handful, yes, but the vast majority are not. And in their view, the only way to see this is indefinite occupation. I mean, it's been more than half a century. This is not temporary, this is permanent. And it's still remarkable, despite these facts, increasing settler violence, extremism at the heart of the Israeli government, that the US, the EU, Australia still prattle on about a two-state solution, which is maybe what they think should happen in theory, but the Israeli government does not. The Israeli people do not. And frankly, increasing mass of Palestinians don't either, because the facts on the ground speak for themselves.
Yeah. The recent ICJ ruling that Israel's occupation of the West Bank and East Jerusalem is unlawful. It's not binding. Israel obviously rejects it. But what impact might it have, if any, especially since the UK is now signalling it's going to retract its objection to ICJ arrest warrants for Netanyahu?
What it does, I think, is strengthen the calls by growing numbers of people around the world, civil society and some governments, including in Western Europe, Belgium and others, that the occupation is not temporary, it's permanent. I mean, this has been clear for years. Palestinians have been saying this, sensible Israelis have been saying. Anyone who goes to the West Bank, as I've been going for 20 years, sees that with their own eyes. These are permanent settlements, colonies across that territory. And I think what happens now, what needs to happen, is some kind of enforcement. The ICJ can't enforce it, their decision, but it is frankly a vitally important one, because it details in step-by-step examples why there is not just a permanent occupation in terms of settlements, but also displacement of Palestinians, the permanent evacuation of Palestinians, ethnic cleansing, in other words. What needs to happen is Western governments and all governments need to enforce this, and that needs to happen across the Western world and the rest of the world too.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, you know, also, as I touched on, the home demolitions by Israel have accelerated dramatically in the occupied West Bank and occupied East Jerusalem. Big numbers of Palestinian families literally forced from their homes and then those homes destroyed. Now, those things are often portrayed by some as the actions of a fringe element, but I know you argue it's far from fringe, that those attitudes and acceptance of them has become mainstream.
Incredibly mainstream. And what's so disturbing about that is that it's so easy for those on the so-called liberal Israeli left or the global community to say, well, that's just a handful of crazy extremists, some violent settlers. The fact is, this is at the heart of the government for decades. You cannot have 750,000 Israeli Jewish settlers in the West Bank with infrastructure, roads, all that kind of reality without massive government buy-in. And the sad reality is the majority of Israeli Jews support that. If you ask them, some will say, no, we're opposed to the crazy extremists. The extremists are the government. That is the government. Whether Netanyahu's in charge or frankly Lapid or anyone else who, as I said it's before, they also voted against a two-state solution. If you don't vote for that, the alternative is permanent apartheid. That's the only two options that exist.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you this too before I let you go. You monitor Israeli television, the media, the more extreme commentators and so on, and the things they say about Gaza and what's happening there and Palestinians more broadly. Do you think people outside Israel would be shocked at a lot of what's said on mainstream Israeli media when it comes to Palestinians, either in Gaza or the occupied West Bank?
They would be shocked, but they shouldn't. I mean, one of the remarkable things is, for years, I would argue, many Western journalists that are based in Israel have been willfully blind to sharing the extremism that exists within the Israeli mainstream. So this is long before October 7, but since you have prominent commentators, journalists tweeting, writing, speaking about ethnic cleansing, killing huge amounts of Gazans. All Gazans are terrorists. This is not a fringe. This is the majority mainstream view, which is why without outside pressure, sanctions, etc., this situation will not change.